And guys, look. You see that little scar there? Right there? Right there? That's where the mole used to be. It's gone. It's crazy. Hey guys, so I did a little experiment and I wanted to share with my followers, my viewers, whoever's watching this, what happened. It's a TMI thing, so if that's not your thing, go ahead and click on another video. But if you've been following me for a while, I think you'll appreciate the little symbolic message that came with this. Anyway, here we go. Okay, so when I gave birth to my kids, I started to get like little moles on my neck, and I think this is a genetic thing / stress thing, like epigenetics thing. My mom, it happened to my mom as well. When she had children, she got like way more moles than I have, more like moles all over her neck, and she had to get them burnt off by the dermatologist. So I had that. I actually, when my whole chronic illness journey started, I actually had a lot of moles on my, like a lot just sprouted up and developed, and I think it was absolutely stress induced at the time, now that I think about it, because they've dissipated since then. They kind of just went away. But I had this really big one. Oh, sorry, my nephew. I'm watching my nephew right now. I had this really like significantly large mole on my neck, and it didn't really bother me until my daughter kept pointing it out. Like she's like, "Mommy, what's this?" And she's like stroking it and touching it and stuff like that. So then I was like, all right, let me just play around with this castor oil thing. So here's the thing with castor oil. I use it for everything. I read an article or I watched a YouTube video or whatever, and I heard that it's called like the palm of Christ. Like it's this supposedly, allegedly, this miraculous oil that can break up tumors. It can heal wounds faster. It can, like, you have people ingesting it like the old nannies. No, not nannies. The old grannies. Grandmas, back in the olden days, they would ingest like a teaspoon of castor oil every single day, and that's what they swear by. That keeps them healthy and strong and going, because allegedly it like eats up whatever bad thing is in your body, so it can break up tumors. And people do like castor oil packs, and they put it over their liver or their kidneys, and it like detoxes it, or they put it in their belly button or whatever. So it's supposed to be this miraculous oil. And so I've been using it, I would say, for a year for oil pulling my teeth. I put it on my, in my belly button. I'll put it on my face every once in a while. I put it on wherever I think my lymphatic glands nodes are. So on my neck, underarms, like, my husband uses it on his eczema, on his ankle that flares up every once in a while. It's probably due to stress, probably because of me. But besides the point. So I've been just playing around with it, but I haven't really felt any major results, anything like that. So I was like, oh, you know what? Let's see if castor oil can break up this giant mole. And guys, look. You see that little scar there? Right there? Right there? That's where the mole used to be. It's gone. It's crazy. Like, it looks like it, and I showed it to my sister, and she was like, oh, did you get your mole burnt out or burnt off like Mom? And I was like, nope. All I did, guys, was I just applied castor oil on that baby. Like, just not even a big amount. Small amount of castor oil every morning after my shower. And then I plan to do it twice a day, but I just, like, I don't know, life is so busy with kids, like I would forget to put it on at night. So it was just literally once a day in the morning, putting castor oil. And I've heard some people say they put castor oil and then they'll put a Band-Aid on it, so it really just like engulfs the mole. But I didn't even do that. I just applied it topically once a day every morning. By the third day, I noticed the mole was getting bigger and it was hurting. Like when I would move my neck or when my shirt would brush up against the mole, it was so sensitive and it was like getting inflamed. And I was just like, all right, well, this is the process, let's see what's happening here. And then finally, like for 3 days, it got really, my skin started to get red and the mole was mad. Like it got really big. And then the 5th day, 6th day maybe, looked at it, and it had overnight, as if it just shriveled up, like it died. Like it just shriveled up and it was just hanging on, like it was just like lifeless and dead, and it was like a scab essentially. And then I took a shower day 7 and it just fell off. And now here's a little scar here that's just healing. Crazy. So now I am convinced that yes, there's all this mind-body stuff, you know, our brains are super powerful and they control our health, but you know, oils and substances and you know, things like that, it does affect the body as well. So I am now convinced that castor oil is absolutely incredibly powerful, and I do believe with my own evidence and experience, and I wish I took a before picture. This was just a little leisurely experiment. Like this wasn't like a case study or anything like that, but I'm shocked at the results. And now my husband is even like, he has like a mole on his face that he's been eyeing, and he kind of wants to do it too. But I told him, I was like, okay, well, just letting you know, it got really painful and really sensitive and really almost like inflamed for like 3 days until it finally popped. My mom actually last year was dealing with really early stage of breast cancer, and I gave her a bottle of castor oil because I was like, Mom, I read that if you put this on your breasts, like it'll break up the tumor or whatever it is in there. I think she's fine, thank God. My mom is okay. She's cancer free. Everything's fine. It was caught early, and she's living her best life. She just came back from Dubai. So I think it might be a miraculous oil. And if you know anything about castor oil, there is this viral video circulating around that I'm gonna have to find it. I'll put it in this video if I can find it, but it shows like castor oil and what like molecules do when it's in it. And it just like forces the oil, for some reason, it just creates this environment that forces things to like align well, and it just gets rid of the muck and the chaos almost, and it just kind of cleans things up. It's kind of wild. So why do I share this? Because I just recognize the symbolism in that. Like when you're on the mind-body journey of recovering from chronic illness using a mind-body approach, as we know, like with flare-ups, right? It has to get, this was perfect imagery. Things have to get really uncomfortable and sensitive, and it kind of builds up and builds up and builds up, like the discomfort. And I'm thinking of like when you have a flare-up, right? You need that flare-up in order to get to the part where it just kind of shrivels up and dies, just like that mole, you know? Like, it got to the point where it was so, the mole and the area was so inflamed almost, and it was just angry, and then all of a sudden, whoop, it shriveled up and it was gone. So it just like was a great parallel to how we deal with like nervous system flare-ups, where the symptoms flare up and it gets really, really uncomfortable. But if you just trust, if you just breathe, if you just allow it to be there, then inevitably it's going to pass, and it's going to pass quickly. I tried to snap, but it didn't work. It's going to pass quickly, and then you're left with the thing that shouldn't be there shrivels up and dies almost. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just kind of like, if you can just handle the discomfort and the inflammation and, you know, all of that with some grace, with some faith, with some trust. Like, when it was flaring up, I wasn't even worried. I just was like treating it the same way I do with chronic symptoms. Just allow the discomfort. Trust that the body knows what to do. And this was a twofer. Like, I trusted that my body knew what to do. I trusted that the castor oil, as they call it, the oil of Christ, palm of Christ, whatever it is. I was trusting that it was doing something, and then it accomplished what I set out for it to do, and fairly quickly too. I just wonder I wonder if it would speed up the process if I did it twice, if I applied it twice a day. But either way, it was gone within 7 days, and it was a pretty substantial mole. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys, these weird bodily things. And sometimes knowing my mom's history with moles and how she was traumatized as a child. She had caregivers who were really abusive, and so that kind of permeated and carried down the line. I just wonder what, like, when you think of like the language of the body, as we talk about, right? Like every little thing could have an emotional meaning or whatever. I wonder what moles mean. I just look at moles as like rage. So when that one particular mole was like flaring up, I was like, oh, look at all that rage. Look at all that rage stored in this little mole. And then the castor oil just kind of took care of it, which is wild. So just wanted to share that with you, lovely followers. If this is the first video that you've ever seen of me, hi, my name is Leanne. Welcome to my channel. I'm healing from chronic illness and using a mind-body approach. And it's this journey has been long. Well, considering, right, like some people, it's been years long, years of rewiring. And to be honest and to be frank, lately, you guys, it's been pretty rough. Not symptomatically so much, but I'm in this space where I'm like, what am I even doing with my life? When you discover that, I'm sure you guys can relate. I think a lot of people are going through this right now. Like, you get to this point where you hit a really hard season and you're like, oh my gosh, I have been performing my whole life to the point where I don't know, like, I don't know. That's kind of the thing. Like, I don't know what I like, what I want to do, who I want to talk to. Do I even want to talk to people? Yeah, it's been interesting dabbling with those things, with those ideas and those concepts. But you know what? That's where the grace comes in, right? Like, if you can relate to this is where the grace comes in, because this is life. Life be lifing. It has its challenges, but we are very resilient people. You are a resilient person. I'm resilient. Like, we choose to get up and not necessarily fight. Like, we're not fighting, but we're just being. That's what we're learning on this journey. Well, we're learning a lot of things on this journey, but most of it is just like, you're just learning to be. The performance is over. The masks are coming off. You can start to show up as your authentic self, which was not safe. Your ego didn't think it was safe before. Your amygdala didn't think it was safe before, but now we're on this journey where we're teaching our brains and our nervous systems that it's okay to be us now. So anyway, love you guys, and I will catch you on the next video.